Right, a very warm welcome. Thank you for taking time to join us in the One Talk. One Talk actually features leaders in the industries. Could be book selling, could be publishing, be employability in the universities, global capitals, as well as librarians. We feature the top people who is doing new and innovative things to share with us from different parts of the world. Today we are very lucky and happy to have USA represented, UK represented, Singapore represented, as well as Malaysia, our own Malaysian representative. So without further ado, I will actually introduce the speakers afterwards, but one of our speakers unfortunately is overseas, is not in at the present moment, but she has kindly recorded her video for us to share with us what is the latest they're doing. That is Selina Lee from Scholastic Asia. She's the vice president and she'll share with us what the publishing world is doing. Scholastic is the world's largest publishers for the trade books, one of the largest at least, and they're doing a lot of innovative stuff. So let's hear it from Selina.
Good afternoon, participants of the Kuala Lumpur International Book Fair. I'm Selina Lee, the Vice President of Scholastic Asia. Scholastic is a legacy brand with over 100 years of experience in publishing and distributing children's books. We are a trusted provider of literacy curriculum and edutainment content. As we are all well aware, the COVID-19 pandemic greatly impacted the delivery of knowledge and skills in the last 2 years. Its effects were immensely evident among young learners who suffered great learning loss. With little to no interaction with teachers and peers, children had a hard time coping with their education journey. Moreover, when schools were shut, teachers were thrown into a situation of having to deliver classes online while still keeping tabs on students' progress. They needed help with solutions that would cater to their needs. As an organization, Scholastic saw this as an opportunity to support our teachers. We looked at creative ways to meet our customers' needs by opening up our resources and adapting them into digital solutions for teachers. We adapted our signature Literacy Pro, a program that assesses children's reading ability, engages them with content suitable for their reading level, and monitors their progress. This program is used globally in schools because of the personalized data analytics it provides to teachers. While it was originally designed as a front-of-class solution, we adapted it for home use. We invested to create a version that parents could use at home called Literacy Pro Family. Providing a home-based solution gives parents better control and support for their children's literacy journey. Another example of a digital solution is Prime Math, a math program that was designed for non-native Singaporean teachers to teach Singapore math. The program was originally designed for classroom delivery with the traditional course book, workbook, and e-book for front-of-class projection. Now, the important thing in solving a math problem is not about the answer, but how you get to the answer. The issue with online delivery was that teachers did not have the visibility to see how students work out their problems. We very quickly deployed a digital math practice and assessment component to accompany our Prime Math product. And this solution allowed teachers to deliver lessons online, observe how kids solve problems, and even conduct assessments online to monitor their progress, all the while at home on a laptop. Understanding there are stories like Dogman, Captain Underpants, and Geronimo Stilton are what kids love to read and will read. We also created an online tutorial program using these stories to help kids develop critical reading and thinking skills, as well as social-emotional skills. Even though the pandemic shook up the education industries in its teaching and learning, and as we progress into the endemic stage, with schools being reopened, we can tell that some things are forever changed. Parents are a lot more actively involved in their child's learning and are aware of how children absorb and retain knowledge. In fact, both parents and children have become so much more well-versed in navigating and using digital tools now. This gives us confidence that we are on the right path of delivering the right solutions for teachers, parents, and children. And this is how we will move forward to support learning for the future. Now, aside from our delivery of education solutions, we also changed the way we create content as a publisher. Knowing that our kids are digital natives, we realized that the pandemic really accelerated a change in the way they read. They are more drawn to visual content now, and that demand is growing day by day. One of the ways that we continue to support this need is by shifting our content into more visual formats like picture books and graphic novels. These formats engage our young readers as they spark creativity and imagination while helping them develop literacy skills at the same time. At the heart of it, children also gravitate to content that they identify with, stories that give them a sense of identity and belonging. We address this by advocating awareness and appreciation of culture and heritage through literacy. Our efforts through the Scholastic Asian Book Award and Scholastic Picture Book Award recognize Asian authors with diverse backgrounds. Kids all over Asia can relate to these stories as they speak to their cultural narrative. They give them a stronger sense of identity and something to be proud of, to see that someone is writing a story about them and people all over the world are reading about it. In essence, we adapted and innovated just like our consumers did. As a publisher, we skewed our agenda to meet our customers' needs by getting creative. And this is how we've stood the test of time. Never has it been more critical to provide high quality and reliable content through the right channels and format. It is also the power of stories that engages the audience, connect them to the world, and builds the groundwork for becoming lifelong learners. This has been Scholastic's mission for over 100 years, and we will continue to do so in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Selena, for sharing. Actually, it's really interesting. We have fiction, non-fiction, as well as technology, as well as print. We blend everything together, customize it to the culture that we are serving and the country and the background we're serving. So thank you, Selena, for sharing. Now, I would like to invite our panels and our moderator on stage, but I'll introduce them one by one and we'll invite them on stage. Firstly, I would like to introduce our moderator, Tuan Arif, the president of Mabopa. All right? He's a super well-liked guy and the most popular guy in the book fair. So I won't read his profile because it takes too many pages. I'll just introduce Tuan Arif. Please come on stage. Another. Okay. Okay, next we'll invite Jay from UK, Singapore, representing BBC. Take the seat as well, all right? And next will be Cheng Po from Marshall Cavendish, the largest publisher in Singapore, which is doing a lot of technology stuff and big data. And finally, our representing our Malaysian award-winning company who bought over the UK company and make the company a global award winner, Mr. Tam Hao Jun, the founder of MeBooks Asia. All right, guys. Okay, without further ado, I'd like to invite our first speaker to share her presentation, Madam Jay Sim, to share her presentation. We welcome Madam Jay Sim.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for inviting us today by the MOE Malaysia and the UBSM. I'm Jay, Director of JSIM Education and Publisher of the BBC Earth Asia edition. Anyone up here familiar about these three titles, which is BBC History, BBC Wildlife, and BBC Science Focus? Imagine a cup of 3-in-1 coffee. I believe all of you love to drink the 3-in-1 coffee, right? Okay, you have a sugar, creamer, and coffee powder in one pack to create the instant coffee. Fast and keep you awake. For BBC Earth magazine, you can consider our Asia edition sort of 3-in-1 coffee as well, in combination with science, history, nature, to make an instant knowledge. Yeah. For BBC Earth magazine, let's share with you our trailer for the BBC New Look. For BBC Earth magazine, it's a monthly magazine that pairs with fascinating images, thought-provoking and entertaining articles about the world around us. The natural life that polluted, the history has shaped our existence upon it, the science that has driven it and continues to propel us into the near future. I always wanted to publish a magazine like a BBC Earth. It is a privilege to have access to such an extraordinary magazine that we cover with knowledge, magic, and to be able to make this come to the life in the pages of beautiful new bi-monthly magazine. For BBC Earth magazine, the content are written by the experts in their field. They are doctors, PhD holders, researchers, scientists, and journalists. For scientists, we have Dr. Helen Scales, the British marine biologist, a broadcaster and writer. For her scientific interests and research focus on marine conservation and the interrelationship between human and ocean. For Dr. Michael Mosley, a very famous British television journalist, producer, presenter, and former doctor, has worked with BBC since 1985. For history expert, we have Mr. David and Dr. Hannah. Our first new look edition, The Last Jungle of Rhino, is our nature expert, Dr. Tommy Nolan, a wildlife artist, photographer, and journalist. And our best-selling issues, Home But Not Dry, which is soap. We have left 200 exclusive set, which is with our Malaysia exclusive agent, UBSM. The written by Miss Anna Levine, a writer and an editor with a special interest in people's connection with the natural world. Why so unique about BBC? BBC is actually contained with 9 key components, okay? It is a leading magazine that to a school English and humanities subject. For the first one, the snapshot, it features the 3 stunning images from each 3 main topics: science, nature, and the history, okay? Second, the updates, the latest intelligence. The latest intelligence is shared with us and highlight the new existing form of technology and innovation. Third, the world news, a must-read section, which is give reader information on current affairs, will be split into 3 components: review, analyze, and comment. This provides students with necessary content, which is help them into their essay writing. 4, discovery. Discovery updates the latest scientific. Imagine that, could you cope without natural light for 40 days? Yes or no? For each issue of the BBC Earth magazine, every issue will have a different focus, different cover story. In main articles that focus on topics science, history, nature, and environment. Selected articles also come with an audio reader, which is allow reader to listen to the article as they read. Listen while you are reading. Simply scan the QR code on the page to gain access to audio for selected articles. Science feature. It always gives us the updated science review from our scientific expert. My Money Mansion. This report about treat mental health problem has been mounting for the last decades, but researchers and patients alike have been waiting for a breakthrough. Regardless to our this history feature, it written by the expert, by the historian, which is aimed to shed light on the past historical events. For our nature feature, it always discovers sensation wildlife through our reports from experts in the field, especially for our this nature, which issues about home but not dry, quite dry. Okay, otters is believed among us, especially in Singapore, a result for reforestation and anti-pollution effort. The popularity of otters has increased so quickly over the past few years that they are fast becoming, or they are already are, a mascot of Singapore. Okay, how BBC benefits for students? What's so unique about BBC Earth magazine? It's an additional information for English exam with our specialized design, the BBC Earth reading program worksheet. it will be enhanced student for more in-depth understanding for history topics, extra arguments and criticisms, enhance critical thinking, encourage good reading habits, and the worksheet is special designed according to the Malaysia and Singapore MOE English syllabus. The paper itself, we have divided to 3 components. We have paper 1, paper 2, and paper 3. Paper 1, writing consists of 1 editing passage, one essay question from one of the 6 different essay writing skills. We have descriptive writing skill, personal recount essay, we have personal recount essay, argumentative essay, narrative essay, expository essay, hybrid essay. By reading and doing the worksheet itself, it will be helping you for your essay writing tips. Paper 2, comprehension. Comprehension consists with 1 comprehension section with question based off articles in the magazine and with 1 summary segment. Third, paper 3, oral consists of 1 passage of reading aloud. A while ago, I did share about the QR code. Students can practice their oral skill by reading aloud from this passage, then checking for correct pronunciation by using the audio reader function. Again, this page, a must-read section. Okay, world news, most highly recommended for students. Okay, we are invited by the school to give assembly talk based on the section like, for example, tips for reading and writing, making sustainable choice, character of success, food wastage, and the environment issues. And we just did this panel discussion in some of the JC in Singapore. Okay, this section will be lead to this question. Examination format question. Based on the argumentative topic, does technology provide loneliness? Yes or no? By reading the magazine itself, it provides you the ideas, the content to your essay writing skill. Imagine that one day, 1 articles. 365 days, you have how many ideas? By reading the magazine, basically it's provide you the content, the ideas, and your vocabulary. Definitely, the impact of COVID-19 on publishing has brought with it a crisis for many. It has also brought innovation and resilience. Therefore, in conjunction with an education purpose for Singapore, Malaysia, and other countries in Asia, we created the reading program and focused on avid reading and writing. We combined the magazine content and the worksheet. Our readers learn about strategy for narrative and non-narrative text comprehension. It will be extracting the relevant information. Summary writing will be enhancing your understanding and analyzing the data. Techniques for persuasive writing, using the reasoning, claims, and evidence for your argumentative and expository writing. How to craft a strong argument, how to make a good story for your narrative and personal recount writing. Best for both worlds, okay, hybrid writing. Definitely, last but not least, the listening comprehension and oral. BBC Earth School Challenge is an education project to inspire youth and encourage curiosity. The project aims to provide additional platform for learning through a series of interactive challenges and related to science, history, nature to nurture the refine the students' thinking and success. So, we will coming back, this BBC challenge will be work closely with UBSM for the 2023 challenge. Thank you so much.
Wow, what a presentation. She promoted me so many times. Actually, frankly, right, one thing I would like to share over and over again is about social media, is about collaboration. Frankly, I have never met Jay in my life before. And through social media, we found each other. She see that our company is Chantek. We see that BBC is really, really Chantek. And then we were appointed exclusive distributor without even meeting. So, a lot of things that you do on social media, a lot of conferences, a lot of sharing that you do is all recorded. And there's a lot of references. When people Google your name, your company, it will just come out. And it's strong enough reference of the credibility of the events that you represent. Now, one really cool thing I find about this program is that it's the merging of the East and Western world. BBC is a big name in learning, all right? And there's a lot of reason and purpose and cause that they champion around the world, like environment and so on and so forth. Whereas the Asian world, we normally ask each other, how many A's did you got? It's not like passing or failing. And they have actually draw the UNISTI kind of instructor's manual learning resources into the school. So the students and the teachers are so prepared to handle whatever types of exams that is going to come out. And they make the teachers look really, really good because of all the resources that is available on demand to the teachers. So bravo, actually, it's a really fantastic initiative. Now, the next speaker is very interesting. I would like to introduce Cheng Po. But before that, initially I asked the boss of Marshall Cavendish, Sun Jin, to come over, but he is giving talks all around the world, and he promised me he'll send the Top Gun of Marshall Cavendish. So we're looking forward to Cheng Po's presentation. And before that, we'd like to play a video of the presentation, then we'll ask Cheng Po to share his address. All right, the video, please.
The world is getting more complex. Life is changing, and so is learning. Students and teachers in a classroom are now faces on a screen. Attention spans are shorter, and workloads are bigger. For teachers and learners, the struggle grows while inspiration is lost. But what if we could bring back what learning is really about? The spark of curiosity, the unshackling of ideas, the pure delight of discovery. Can we make learning feel more like play than work? Where things that are taught resonate with the needs of every learner. Where virtual learning doesn't just imitate the classroom, but brings new possibilities. Where the content adapts as lifestyles evolve. This is learning simplified. We understand the challenges teachers and learners face, and we are here to help. In over 85 countries, we are transforming education with one goal in mind: to bring back the joy of learning.
Hello, good afternoon. When I was told that I need to present at the KLI BF event at 6 p.m., and the first thing that comes to mind was, am I standing here between you guys and dinner? I hope not, and we'll try to make this progress as less painful as possible so that everyone can get to your dinner. Just a little bit of who we are, a very short introduction. Marshall Cavendish is, in Singapore, is very much an old brand. Started from Singapore, looking at Singapore, intended of Singapore education. But over the years, and 2 years ago, we were very honored to be invited by Cambridge International to be the only one out of 4 publishers, and we are probably the only one that is the non-UK publishers that's been endorsed globally. So in the last 2 years, we were asking ourselves, how could we differentiate and not being called a publisher? The whole landscape has changed, and luckily or unlucky because of the pandemic, it really pushed forward a lot of changes for publishers like us. So we have to transform. And today, as I was invited to think, how could publishers of the old transform ourselves ahead of the world and the changes that's happening? So we started just right after Singapore gained independence in 1968. And in so far, we have been working almost here in Asia. And we started to slowly expand into US. We've been in the US market serving all 50 states for the last 20 years. And then we moved on to South America, UK, and then I would say that our next frontier is going to be Middle East, as we have established large contracts, businesses to work with different ministry in the Middle Eastern markets. Right, so one of the few things that we look at is not to look at how great that we can create contents. We ask ourselves by what does our customer look for? What's that journey of learning, the journey of teaching and learning for our educators? What does it take for them to do their work better? How can we help them in the teaching and learning journey for both students, the teachers, and perhaps the parents, right? How can we make it easier for them? How can they learn so that they will understand that learning is not a task. Learning is a joy. So we look at the whole journey and ourselves from early childhood, and we started to reflect that we are no longer just a publisher, no longer that we produce textbook. What we do is that we're creating learning contents. We are creating learning materials. And while we create it, depending on how our customers, be it teachers or students, schools, the Ministry of Education globally, how they want it consumed. Do they want it in printed format? Do they want it in digital? Do they want it in multimedia format? That is the consumption. The creation is where we are good at. We will focus in the area of content creation. Print, a textbook, a digital platform, those are the form of delivery. Those are the form of how our customers are going to consume. And that's how we reimagine what this industry will change and how it will look into the future. So, if you look at that whole journey, right, one of the few things that we look at starts with ourselves. As a publisher, very traditionally, we work on the desktop. We create, editors create the content, pass on to getting the manuscript first from the authors, right? We work through that whole process, like a manufacturing process. What we did was 4 years ago, before pandemic happens, we started to transform internally. How we create content starts to change. We move our creation of content onto the cloud so that the editors, the authors, the reviewers, our creative designers, our illustrators could actually work on the same page in the cloud together, anywhere, anytime. So that means that our talent pool of editors, artists, no longer needs to be in the same physical location. And that's the journey we started 4 years ago. We could now have a collaboration of team that comes from different countries with their own area of expertise working on the same page at the same time. What it also means that we could produce our contents 24 hours, follow the sun method. And that is one of the journey that we have taken. And then when pandemic hits, we were lucky because we had that step taken before COVID-19. And immediately when COVID happens, where everyone has to start to work from home, it becomes a non-issue for us because we were already getting that move forward. And when it happens, as publishers, we are able to adjust to the market, to the condition, and it allows us to continue to be as productive, if not more, by working from home. So now that we are back, we have not changed. We still allow the whole organization to continue to work anywhere, anytime, to make sure that we produce the best content for our customers. The other thing that a lot of times when publisher we look at, one of the things that we do traditionally was to look at printed books and decide after that what are the various digital objects that we can embed with printed materials. That no longer happen. we are now designing learning contents from beginning to the end as a whole. Do not focus on just printed or textbook. We are looking at what does it take to deliver rich media to the students. And from there, that's how the contents are being created, right? So no longer that we look at publishing as a traditional way. It's actually very enriching. It drives our creative juices to think out of the box. What does it take? How can we simplify difficult learning contents, difficult learning objects, and get it delivered to the students at the right time, at the point that they need those knowledge? The other thing that we also look at as a journey now, to help students is one, then how do we help teachers? How do we help educators to go along that journey? How do we continue to train teachers, in-service teachers, right? Continuous learning for educators is something very important, not just in pedagogical context courses, but also digital literacy, learning materials in a different way. Also to parents, we are now looking at a service that we could actually reach out to parents or students and help them to understand. Again, different models that we have created to address parents' needs, how to help parents to understand the journey that their child is going through education. So those are the services that we have started to build on. Now, not just to sell, but to train parents. Now, parenting today becomes more difficult as well, right? And it's not just to sit there and get your child to attend class, but how to understand the child's psychology, how to help your child along that learning journey. So we're working with different institutes, universities, research. We're actually developing courses to help parents to understand and help the child learning journey along the way. The other thing that we have tested also in Malaysia, we are actually going into competition. For example, in Malaysia, about a year ago during pandemic, we actually ran an English essay writing competition, right? It was hugely successful. We thought that we could just get 1,000 students and teachers participate in the English writing. Surprisingly, we have to accept more than 4,000 entries from Malaysia, and it was done in collaboration with some of our partners here to run competition. The same AI engine for essay marking, we actually ran an efficacy test in Singapore with National Institute of Education, as well as MOE Singapore. I think the efficacy of the English AI engine was wildly successful again. What we were told that this will be going onto mainstream tools that will be used by all schools in Singapore for essay marking as well. So those are the things that we are working on across beyond just publishing. We are looking at what are the ecosystems that will drive usage of technology. How can we help students and teachers teach and learn better? Now, in terms of the whole digital solution, we sit in a what we call an EduHub, which is a digital repository. In the repository, we have different set of contents, not just digital ebook contents. It will have learning materials, a whole sorts of repository that will help both students as well as teachers. Now, in professional development, not just literacy classes, pedagogical, we actually has PD program that we work with universities that will do bite-sized self-directed learning for all teachers. So one of the programs that we have tested with the Department of Education in the Philippines, where in conjunction with the program, we actually work with them to create contents that will be part of the teachers in-service recertification for all of Philippine teachers. So those are the programs that we are looking at to help ministries as well in terms of what are the courses to take and to make sure that the teachers get continuous learning as well as recertification for teaching license, for example, in this case, in the Philippines. We have customized PD programs in different countries. For example, we actually work with, again, customized professional development in Central Eastern Europe for Azerbaijan and Kazakhstan. Working with them, the ministry, to carve out professional development for trainer teachers for both in-service and pre-service teachers. So without going into more details, we do have a lot of master classes where our trainers and educators are not just from Singapore, but they are globally, both in US, UK, in different languages as well. So we do advertise a lot of master classes, digital literacy programs, lesson delivery, because with one of the things that we found out, a lot of teachers lack the ability to learn how to deliver lesson in a digital format of today. So those are additional classes that we actually conducted. Right. Just to share with you, one was actually the English writing program competition. We'll be launching a Math Olympic program that we actually took working with Singapore. We will be expanding to whole of Asia in the next few months as well. All right, so if you look at it, it seems like Marshall Cavendish is doing a lot of things. The answer is probably yes, but we don't do it alone. The way that publishers like us, we have changed as well, is no longer we work alone. We work with all partners. We work with collaborators. We work with technology partners. We will work with and collaborate with AI research institutes. In Singapore, we work with A-Star. We work with different organizations that do pedagogical research as well, universities. For PD program, not only we work with NIE in Singapore, but we as well as universities of Australia, China, Indonesia, and there's a few other countries that we are still in discussion how we collaborate with different universities around the world. And to us, partnering is something important. Collaborating with our partners around the world, not just in publishing, but technology, professional development, universities, our distributors are all extremely important. And that's how we are able to work along all these partners, create meaningful programs together, and deliver it to the teaching and learning communities. With that, thank you very much.
Wow, thank you, Cheng Po, for the wonderful sharing. Actually, you guys are so mega. It's like running a whole country or running a Kementerian Pendidikan or Ministry of Education itself. Not many companies have that extensive resources to do, but bravo with what you're doing. You actually almost conquer half the world already. Okay. And last but not least, we'd like to introduce Haojin, our own Malaysian publisher. It's a startup. The thing about Haojin is that they are so different. They don't come from the traditional publishing world, all right? They are school owners, doctors, they are kind of a Pixar illustrators, and people from marketing and advertising company. They are not publishers, but they come into the publishing world to make a change, to make a difference, to give a fresh feel. But they don't start from zero. They bought an award-winning company from the UK who is really working with Doctor Strange, working with Disney, working with Oxford, and they enhance the product to be world-class, which is why in such a short time, right, they win the global IFLA, Global Sustainable Development Program for Early Childhood Reading in IFLA. So the award-winning company, over to you, Haojin.
Hi everyone, selamat petang. Okay, I'm Hao Jun here. I'm actually from Malaysia. So it's basically MeBooks is actually a Malaysia startup edutech company. So it's not so great as Keith says that it's so big. So we are still a startup. We are still learning every day. So we are learning with many publishers around the world. Example like Oxford, Scholastics, Penguin, and so on. And even in Malaysia, we work with many publishers in Malaysia. So some of the publishers, I think some of the great late illustrator, Yusof Gajah, also in our platform. So before I go on, I just start. So basically, MeBooks is actually an interactive storytelling and literacy development platform. Currently, we have four different languages, English, Malayu, and also Mandarin and Thai. Eventually, we are going to launch in Indonesia late this year. So we will have Indonesian content at our platform. So currently, MeBooks, we have around 1.6 million users worldwide, mainly from UK, secondary from US, and the third largest market is in Australia, and the fourth will be in Malaysia. So we work closely with library in Malaysia. We work with Ministry of Education in Malaysia as well. So currently, we work over 40 international publishers from around the world. And this is our latest IP. So we are very proud to be the first Malaysian IP to work with Omnom. So Omnom currently have 26 billion views on YouTube. We are able to create almost 50 new titles for Omnom. And besides creating these new titles, we also put in a lot of efforts in terms of sounds. We put a lot in terms of sound effects, voiceovers, and so on. I'll take a quick look. So these are some of our heroes, Malaysian titles. Emil Yusof is in, Yusof Gajah, and also some of the indie authors that we have in Malaysia. This is our self-published titles. So we work very closely with the One Academy. We have many illustrators, and we strongly believe quality content is the key to go. It's not just about a normal publishing book. So we focus a lot about illustrations, a lot about the words, a lot about the voice as well. So this is Thailand. So we're very proud to be Thailand in this August. We will launch in Thailand together with government from Thailand and also publishers from Thailand. So these are some titles. So late this year, we will be in Indonesia as well. So hopefully we'll be the first to be work with Indonesia in terms of interactive audiobooks. And we will announce the publishers late this year. And we are very proud to work with these big boys from Indonesia. So we hope that we are able to make education accessible, enjoyable, and affordable in Indonesia. And when we design MeBooks, we always have in mind that it's not just designed for parents and children and teachers. We also want to design for publishers. So as a writer or an author, when they use our platform, there's a publishing tool for them to publish their books. So this publishing tools is very easy. It's like drag and drop, and then you can insert your voice, you can insert your text, and so on. And currently, MeBooks, we have around 600 titles. By end of this year, we have 1,000 titles from here. There's a gamification and reward system, which is basically when the kids progress in MeBooks, they're able to get points, and eventually these points are able to exchange for physical books. So it's not just about digital platforms only. And we work very closely with voice over from around the world. So this is a short video. So this is some of the voiceover artists that we work. So one of the most famous one is Doctor Strange. So as a Malaysian company, we're able to work with Doctor Strange. We are very proud of it. And this is some of other voiceover as well.
A snow dog. Billy was woken by a muffled bark.
At last, he came to an island
Oh, I love you, banana.
Then the third little pig built himself a house of bricks.
Good night, son, said Little Fox. And she lived in the forest, Pepper continues.
Yeah, so this is some of the samples that we work with world-class voiceover. In Malaysia, we also work with many local voiceover artists in Malaysia, in Mandarin, in Bahasa Melayu, and also Tamil books as well. So besides the voiceover, we put a lot of emphasis in terms of sound effects and Foley. So this is some of the examples that is not just about voiceover.
Who is the storyteller today?
I'm going to have a drink. I must keep it on all of the time so that I don't lose it.
So you can see that we add a lot of water sound, a lot of food sound. It's actually for kids to imagine. Actually, this is how it looks like. So this is how it sounds like. This is how the real world looks like. So, for example, some of the kids are unable to travel to the space or travel to, for example, to the cities. And then we created the city environments, and then we add the sounds, we add the Foley on top of that. So this is another one.
Who is the storyteller today?
Goodness, my trunk's getting tired. This is so much fun. What's it like up there? Come on, chaps, put me down.
And we call it side script. So we are not a typical PDF audiobook. So we believe that learning is through active learning. It's touch and then you hear. It's not just about passive learning. It's not about just a video playing to you as a passive. So we believe that the kids must touch to hear, and that's where the kids learn the most. And by hearing these sound effects and Foleys, that's where the kids, a lot of kids will be amazed at that from them. They actually record their own sound effects, even a step on the floor to run and so on. So besides that, we want to encourage kids to read aloud, and that's where our new latest technologies, we integrate speech assessment. So this is our detail of speech assessment. So we actually built this AI at you are able to identify the phoneme and also each particular sound that the kids struggle. So when we are able to identify which particular sound or phonics or phoneme they struggle, and we are able to recommend the next content to them. So currently is in English, we are moving to speech assessment for Bahasa Melayu and speech assessment for Bahasa Indonesia by this year. So MeBooks is actually more than just digital. It's not just about books and books. We also believe a lot about tactile. So this is something that's very personal to me and also to Malaysia. Yep. So basically, we actually did Wayang Kulit together with audiobook. So this is actually for parents. So parents that usually struggles in English, they actually can just play from the audio, from the digital, and then they were able to do the shadow play. So why shadow play? Actually, MeBooks focus a lot about early childhood. So black and white is the highest contrast color that the kids will attract to. So when kids are attracted to story, eventually it will become a lifelong reader. So eventually they will chase the mom, they will chase the teachers. I want to read, I want to hear again, I want to participate in this storytelling. So this is our intention, right? And of course, this is basically it comes with board game as well. So the board game is actually based on the story of the book. It's not just about a normal board game. And we are proud to design a national reading program for Malaysia since 2018. So this is a project that we work very closely with National Library, the State of Library Sarawak, and Selangor Library. So this particular campaign called Reading Seats. So this Reading Seats was distributed in all public hospitals for newborn babies for B40. So when you are when you give birth, and then this is a box that we designed, and it was catered for newborn 0 to 3 years old. And this is some of the partners that we work with in terms of Ministry of Tourism and then the libraries. And this is all the items that you get from the box. So it's not just about digital and prints. It comes with the toys. It comes with posters. It comes with a lot of milestone checks as well. So this is a kit that we believe that we're able to instill a love of reading from young. And it's not just about the box. And we believe that to be a reader, you need to plant a seed from young. It's not just you need to start from preschools, it's a bit too late. So we believe that it has to start from 0 onwards. And then when moms try to read a story to you, eventually you will fall in love in that. And we have designed many different workshops on top of the kit. So the parents have to attend a full day workshops before they get the kit. So these workshops has been rolled out in 7 different states in Malaysia, mainly in Sarawak, and then Selangor, Penang, Terengganu, and also Perak. So this kit is also a way that for us to re-educate about our traditions, our cultures, and so on. So a lot of illustrations that we put in, there's a lot of details that we look into, what kind of costumes they wear, example, the wild traditional games they do, and so on. And last, not to forget that we also include early childhood development screening. So this is very important for parents and also for B40s. So a lot of B40s, they tend to not just do screening on their kids. So example, when a baby go up to 18 months, they need to stack 3 blocks, or else there could be a motor skills delay. So in the B40s, there's a lot of them that detect very late at preschool level, and that's too late for them to do therapies and so on. So we want to bring into 0 to 3, and that's where we're able to identify and detect early and find solutions towards that. And since 2018, we have impacted almost 20,000 kids around Malaysia. And hopefully by this year, we're able to roll out to 50,000 Malaysian kids together with the state of Sarawak and the state of Selangor. And this is some of the workshops. And this program, we have also statistics that 33% of them access digitally. It's not just about print. And also, we have conducted over 100 different workshops in 7 different states. And this program, we are proudly to be the first entry from Malaysia and the first Southeast Asia early childhood education program to feature in IFLA. So this is something that we are proud of as a Malaysian education startup. So we are glad that we are able to bring this into the world stage. And this is a statistics impact study done by our National Library. So we have conducted on 1,005 children, and these 1,005 children have read earlier than their siblings that have not touched a book at 0 to 3. So these are impact studies. And to end the slides, this is just to recap. We are proud to be a Malaysian company, and we hope that we are able to make education accessible, affordable, and enjoyable for every kid in Southeast Asia. Thank you.
Wow, really hebat, huh? They are using technology, they're using big data, they're using algorithm, they are utilizing all the senses that we have to learn. And they start from birth onwards. Wow, that's really cool. Thank you, Hao Jin. Now we will have the Q&A session. I'll hand over the session to Brother Arif. We are all going to sit at the right, at the center, and we're going to shoot any questions, all right?
So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have seen 3 new business models, 3 new publishing models, which definitely are not traditional. not what we usually see here in Malaysia. So congratulations to all three companies. We don't have much time, but let's try to stretch a bit. Okay, let's start with JSIM as a publisher. Usually we want to know who are these guys. What make you decide to invest in science, history and nature magazines? How do you start?
Me? Okay, I was started as an editor when I was 19 to 20. I was with Nanyang Shangpao. I was the time we returned this 少年夜刊 from Chinese to English right now, which is 25 years later. I'm still in the publication line. So what makes me investor to this BBC Earth? It was last year, I think 2019, during the COVID period. It was the biggest challenge for me, whereby another publisher wanted to let go these titles, and my friend has told me that, Jay, your favorite magazine going to stop the publication because that company has changed the direction more to a fashion industry, fashion magazine. Yeah. So for me, I'm more into education. So I was thinking, because before that I was a supplier and a magazine distributor and also magazine subscription for Time, Reader Digest and National Geographic, and even for the Economist magazine. I was in the market for about 25 years for this magazine subscription. And I was running the school reading program in Singapore since I was 23 years old. So that time, it was really a peak for magazine subscription, especially for Time School, for reading program, like for Hwa Chong, the top international school in Singapore, River Valley High, Dunman High, the top 10 schools, they're all using the Time magazine as one of the compulsory program and with the worksheet. Okay, but 10 years ago, the industry was really, a lot of people say it's a sunset industry.
Yeah.
So why I still so daring? They call me very daring.
To do magazine.
Doing the magazine, because one thing is I have a passion, because especially for education, for kids, for reading, it will be not die off. Because as I said, knowledge, there's no expiry date. It always will be upcoming information for you to learn about. Yeah. How will you want to write? How do you want to read? From like what the style, me books, it was started from planting a seed, you see. Yeah, so for having the BBC Earth magazine, it was helping me to penetrate to more opportunity, I would say that. And we created a different way of doing it. Like for example, we have a lesson. During the 2021, yeah, it's very, very suffer for all the publishing line. Okay, so we were started from subscription. I was thinking, since that these 2 years we cannot go to school, and the school have a very, very tight budget to get the reading program, and we cannot go in for a book fair, we cannot go to a road show, what can I do? I was panicked. So, and I'm taking this challenge, and the license had to pay to UK every single issues. So I was thinking, why not we do a difference? Since we cannot go to school, why not we do an online Zoom lesson? So therefore, I gather my editor, I gather my writer, can you help me? We would like to extend this learning program to home reading program, home lesson. I get the parents group, I get the blogger to help me share, to help me sell the program, to help me gather them in order to come together with the content, with the worksheet, and with a lesson plan, will be ordered to give a student more in-depth of the learning process.
I was about to ask that question. How do you pitch to parents? How do you pitch to teachers?
Okay, for teachers, there was like emailing, but it wasn't work out because for 2020 and 2021 is a very challenging year for Singapore industry, especially for education. The teachers have tons of job because the whole lesson have to change to Zoom. It's a new things they had to adapt it, and then more tasks they need to I would say the workload will be more than before. So when you approach the teacher, you email the teacher, your email always will be the last one. You will not get the reply even if it's 30 days or 60 days later. So we will turn to parents, we turn to the household, we turn to our subscriber. So I would say I have a strong data for my subscriber from Time, from Reader Digest, from National Geographic. And we believe that one customer will not go for one magazine. They have surplus. Especially I love the family without the TV, because the television, because they will have more children there. So one parents, 3 children, and how many magazines? There will be 3 magazines, and there's more books. We also help Marshall to market their assessment book as well. So one consumer is very precious for us. It will be from 0 to 5 years old, 6 years to 9 years old, 10 to 12, 13 to 14. So that's how we segregate the market. And then in Singapore right now, a lot of new migrate from China. So this is a very, very huge potential market for us to grow in. So I have a group sales mama, which is the market. One group check, right, they have about 500 parents. So imagine I have 10 seller, 10 China seller. We have how many good check parents there already? Yeah, it's about 5,000. Some is even to 20,000. And we have a very strong channel called SG Lama. So 1 hour, it could be make up to 40,000 of sales, Sing dollars, for selling books alone.
So magazine is not dead, but now you started with a base of existing customers, and that's how you remarket the new titles to this.
Yeah, I would say that after I taking the BBC Earth, instead the sales of BBC Earth before I taking over, the sales really going down.
Okay.
Since 1920 when we take over, and 2021 September, October is our first new look. When we take over, I changed the whole entire look.
It's very beautiful.
Yeah, I changed the whole entire design, and that house, the sales start coming up. And the seeds start seeing the things coming out really from the ground.
Thank you, Jay. Let's go to Cheng Po. MC is a very well-known brand, and what you've shown on the screen, I think it's like the whole circle of education's resources, yeah? But let's talk as a parent, as a child. For example, let's talk as a parent, me as a parent, for example. What changed after the COVID? What parent must be aware? What's happening in the school or in the IGCSE after the COVID, for example?
Hello. Okay. I think what changed is that before the students get anxious, the parents get more anxious first.
Of course.
Right? Because they'll be wondering, what if school closed? What about my child going to do? I'm going to lose 1 year of education. And that's where we come in, where we address parents. That it is not the end. As a parents, the way that parents guide the child will change. Textbook content, educational content becomes more difficult. You know, I was a parent. My son is actually very big already, but when he was growing, and I was looking at his book, and I can't teach him because it's really difficult. You know, most of us as parents, we used to go to school. We think that we can teach our child.
I forgot my algebra.
Exactly, right? Some of us says that we go to school and then we go to university, and the day that we leave and graduate, forgot everything that we have learned.
Exactly.
Right?
Right.
So we discovered that it is not about to teach a parent how to teach. I think it is about how to be there for your child. Psychology of handling child, how to help, being not to be too helpful. I think soft touch, soft skills are those things that we actually discover that parents want to learn. How can I keep my fear and anxiety without projecting it to the child? Because as COVID, they sit down there, watch the kids, and typical parent start to shout.
Yeah, very
Scream.
stressful. Trying to pretend to be a teacher is very stressful.
One of the things that sells a lot, or rather that we get a lot of interest, like it or not, anger management. Right? How to help your child and how to keep the anger. And interestingly, those are the things that parents will look for. Not to teach math, not to teach science, but really understand behavior of a child from a psychological standpoint, how to control your anger, and really being there for your child. I think those are the things that change.
Sounds like easy, but I don't think it's that easy. Yeah. Yeah. Hao Jin. Beautiful books, beautiful products. I think we need to appreciate more this kind of work, this kind of art. Why is it so difficult to get Malaysians to buy or to appreciate this kind of books? What need to change in our market so this kind of beautiful works receive more attentions and appreciations?
Yeah, actually, when we look at your books, right, when a book comes from Indonesia, we say, oh, Indonesian, yeah, oh, that is India one, that is China one. But yours, Malaysian, looks so beautiful rather
works.
than like local, you know. So, how do you do it?
A tough question, really tough question. I think when MeBook started, our goal is actually to create quality content and make it accessible to everyone. So what do you mean by accessible? So how I always wonder why Ladybird books are only distributed into the top 20 or top or middle class, right? But why not B40, right? So our goal, that's why we started to work with local illustrators. We work with one of the few top local illustrators, and we want to make it affordable. We know print is going to be very challenging because print, the cost will go up very high. And therefore, we believe that through technology, we are able to make it accessible, right? So every parents are able to appreciate this great art from our local illustrators and our local authors as well. And our goal will still continue to create up to easily 200 to 300 great content from Malaysia, and not just Malaysia. So we have started to work with Thailand illustrators, Indonesia illustrators, and actually, in fact, our latest 20 new books, upcoming one is with Indonesia. So, and we believe that this great content, we are not here to sell as premium product, right? So we want to make it like accessible. Hardcover, we're looking at 20, 25.
More.
Right? So that is
more.
where we want to push. And then every parents will able to appreciate this. And also for kids, and then look at these great arts, and then eventually they will fall into the story, like how they do in Pixar movies. And never forget that it's not just about books. We focus a lot about tactile. We want the kids to touch and hear,
Yes.
right? Because the first word I learned in the world is mommy, right? And without even understand what is mommy and understand us, or even can't spell the words, right? But through the voice, through the sound, I'm able to remember, and therefore only technologies are able to make it happen in an affordable way. Of course, there's a sound books, there's a soundboard books. It's very costly to print as mass. So this is our intention.
Do we have the time or?
Puan Aida, do we still have time or we got to finish? Huh? Boleh sambung? Oh, 7 minit lagi. Okay, good.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So many questions to ask.
Not so many lah. Do we want to open to the floor?
Anybody from the floor would like to ask any question? Anyone? Okay. I think everybody's shy, so I'll leave it to...
I think we continue with Cheng Po.
Yeah.
From the eyes of the children in school now, as a parent, I'm very happy the kids are back in school. It's very stressful when they are at home. What will change in the next 1 year after this COVID? What do you think the child must prepare for the change?
I think, depending on age group, one of the few things a child for the future, a lot of education focuses on individual learning, right? And very young toddler, like Hao Jin's you find nurseries, play school, they learn how to play together. But as they grow older, they forgot about that. They forgot to learn together. They forgot that they can work together, and they become more individual, right? Education in primary, secondary, you realize that, I'm not sure, but when I was a student in Malaysia, I'm still a Malaysian.
Orang Penang.
We tend to look at it, to learn by yourself. Examination in the old days, it's very individual. It's about yourself, you only. I think to prepare the students for the future, they need to learn again, or in this case, relearn how to work together. There is, in many schools, there are short of project work that students need to learn to collaborate, understand. Different people works differently. As you know, in education, learning styles differs. There are definitely different modality of learning. Some people learn better by reading, some learn better by watching a video, or in this case, tactile. Right? So, and students forget that as they grow older. It needs to be brought back. How to work together, how to understand each other, how to withstand the different behavior and characteristic of individuals. Right? I think that is the part that students need to relearn, because to prepare them not just for higher education, but to when you get into the workforce. We forget that in the workforce, to get them prepared, they need to learn to work together as a team, and that is a cornerstone of really what education at the end of the day means.
It's the soft skills that will take us to the future. Hao Jin, is library helping to deliver this product to the B40, for example?
Yes, definitely. Work very closely with, I think, almost 5 libraries now. National Library, Sarawak, Selangor, Perak, and Penang. It's not just about deliver the product, right? So what we commit with them is to conduct workshop together. Right? So we want the parents and the kids to attend the workshop, and we conduct storytelling together with the parents. Right? So when we conduct storytelling together with parents, and parents will eventually will get to know a hand of it, and they were able to conduct back at home. We believe that a lot of education also start from home. It's not just about teachers and also librarians, right? So this is something that we constantly work with library. Of course, during pandemic, that time we do a lot of online sessions. Now we start to go on ground.
On the ground.
Right? Eventually, young kids, early childhood, still on ground will be the thing. It's not just about digital online, because attention span to the digital is so short. It's like 10 minutes, 15 minutes to go away from the iPad, right? Yeah. So it doesn't work in that sense, right? So what we want is bring them down and then let them feel it. Let them feel the storytelling experience. This is what we want. And of course, lastly, it's not just about children. We want to empower the parents. So we have been thinking a lot of the, activities for the parents to conduct at home, and also to work with between parents as well. They can actually, we also even open a group for parents to ask the committee. Like example, there's a doctors, there's a child experts, psychologists in the committee, and parents actually can shoot the questions to them and then can attend to them. These are, everything I say here is for B40. It's not just about the middle class and the top 20. So we focus a lot about B40. We believe that B40 also will be the future of Malaysia.
Wow. So you are making world-class product available for everyone.
Yeah.
I have one question to ask you. People always in the publishing industry work with the libraries and the MOE. What are you doing with the Ministry of Health in Thailand? How does it work? We want to find new market, like going to our Kementerian Kesihatan and make some money from that. Do share with us.
I can't share so much, but because it's supposed to be launched in August. But in a nutshell, In a nutshell, we work with Ministry of Health Thailand on health literacy. So at times, health literacies are boring, really, really boring, right? So, example, brush your teeth, and then basically you have to cleanliness, sexual harassment, and so on, right? So it's a very boring topic. Our goal is to make it fun. To make it fun, we definitely will invite anyone to come by in Thailand, Bangkok, this August to witness that particular technology to make it fun. Yeah.
So I guess okay, any last words?
Any last statement before we
Any
end
last
the
statement?
session? Start with Jay.
Yeah.
The health, the health, right? Actually, in Singapore, right, there's one Thomson Medical, right? They do publish the books as well. They publish the children's books. Yeah, so to teach children about the health issues. So this is very creative way right now. And we're always talking about collaboration. So from a different angle, different perspective, we have a different opportunity coming out. Yeah.
Now, those of you who want to see Jay's book, you can go to 3150 in Hall 3 itself. All her publications will be there. All right, copy some ideas and learn something from her publications.
Okay, Aida is already standing there.
Okay.
Chingpo, any?
Any last words? Why Marshall Cavendish? We actually relook at and our new vision is to bring back the joy of learning, because we believe that when students are happy and to learn, they learn better, they learn faster, and that is where the cornerstone of learning begins. Education has been too stressful, and when you're stressful, you don't learn. And our mission here is really to transform education by bringing back that joy so that every one of us will learn better and will learn faster.
Thank you.
Excellent, excellent.
I think for me books, we focus a lot about collaboration. We hope that we can able to work with a lot of publishers in Southeast Asia. It's not just about us itself. Like example, we love to work with a lot of more and more Malaysian publishers to be on board, or even could be co-published. It could be, we can find the illustrators and then basically we can write the books together. I believe there's a lot of hidden talent in Malaysia. That's something that we feel that we definitely need to work harder on this. And there's a lot of authors in Malaysia that is hidden at home or even not out there. So collaboration would be the key and is the key for publishing world. Yeah.
Thank you, panelists.
Thank
Sorry
you.
to the stage manager.
Okay, thank you, Hao Jin, thank you, Chingpo, thank you, Jay, and thank you, Arif. It was an awesome session. Thank you, everyone, for
Alright.
joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.